I'd like to welcome back to the show, back to Metal Shop 101, Jason Cornwell. What's going on, Jason?
Hey Doc, thanks for having me.
Hey, what all you got going on? You got some stuff going on, man.
Oh yeah. It's been a nonstop year. It's been super busy. I mean, I've been doing a lot of stuff with Westbound. We Steel City. We had the record that came out just about a year ago, and then I've been doing a tribute band that's been touring like nonstop. We're managed by Entertainment Services of New York, so that's been on the road a lot because they're affiliated with Monsters of Rock. So the doors have been pretty wide open with that. And we've kind of got an all-star band with that. We've got Scott LaFlamme, who's the guitar player from Men Tango,
Right.
uh, um, Barry Collins, who's he's toured with Ronnie Monroe of Metal Church. He's also in a Boston-based band, actually, kind of ironically, called Metal 101,
Right.
which also used to have the current singer from Metal Church.
Oh, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, so pretty cool. So, but yeah, I mean, the thing I want to mention today, and I know we talked about it, was the Majesty of Rock.
Yeah, let's talk because this is a bombshell of a tribute album. I mean,
Absolutely.
I was reading up on it, and the guests that are on this album is absolutely incredible,
Absolutely. Chaz West, singer for Westbound, the band that I've been in since the incarnation, back in 2017. With his connections, he was asked to do it, and we were so excited to do it because it's for teen cancer, so it's for a great benefit.
man.
I
Right.
mean, plus you have so many artists that are involved in it, members of Guns N' Roses. Roger Daltry was heavily engaged in it for the Who, and they're currently on tour, and many more. So I mean, we did the song "Tonight We're Gonna Rock You," which is a fan favorite of Spinal Tap. We did our own version of it, and it came out absolutely fantastic. And you know, it was great to be doing it for a charity, but it was also just great to be doing a cover song and something that
Right.
we all loved. And it was and all of us, Jazz, Dave Marino, who's in Bruce Dickinson's band. Um, uh, Jimmy Burkhart, who's in the Suite, and then our keyboard player T Bone, um, who was with Government Mule for many years. We were just all excited to work on this.
Right. And this is only available through the Teen Cancer America website.
Yes, exactly.
It
Yeah,
was,
yep, that's exactly correct.
and all the proceeds go to that charity or
Yeah,
that organization.
yep, it's very true, and it's a really good charity. We've had a great response. Album sales are really good. And everybody's been super generous. We've been selling T-shirts online as well.
Right. And it's teencanceramerica.org that
Yep,
you can get the album from. What,
exactly. Yep.
I mean, how did you get involved with this? I mean, this album's pretty awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, so Chaz was engaged with it. He knew the producer. They contacted him because they knew his involvement. He was in Foreigner. He was in Lynch Mob.
Right.
He was in Jason Bonham's band for many years.
Right.
So he kind of had a relationship, with the folks involved, and they knew we'd been involved in other charities in the past. So you know they definitely engaged us, knowing that we would deliver, and we did. We got the song done, I think, in probably a week or so. Got it to them, well within the time, and it's great. I mean, you've got guys from Guns N' Roses, Tool, Systems of a Down, Vixen,
Right.
Fighters, Mastodon, you
Even the
know,
Go Go's.
yeah, the Go Go's, yeah, exactly, and they're so legendary. I
Oh,
remember like back in the day, when I was, growing up in, upstate New York. I remember seeing them open for the Rolling Stones. Some of them,
right.
I saw them open for the Police. It's just, great band that they're still going. You know,
Right.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, super cool.
And I mean, every band can relate to Spinal Tap. I mean, they just released the Spinal Tap 2, so to say,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and every band has had a Spinal Tap moment, I'm
There are
sure.
so many circumstances like that. It's just, the irony is just crazy. But
Right.
it kind of helps you when you watch that movie. It kind of helps you laugh at the stress and the stuff that you do deal with when you're on the road. You know,
Right.
especially like a lot of times nowadays, there's a lot of DIY stuff where I might work and put together a tour, whether it was for Westbound, Steelcity, or other bands that I play with, and
Right.
you encounter a lot more than that. You see what the agency, you see what the tour managers would see that you wouldn't see because you're kind of doing everything. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah,
Right.
right.
So, have you seen the new Spinal Tap?
I have not had a chance to. I mean, we had an opportunity to go to premiere, but I wasn't available. But yeah, um, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it.
Right. Very cool, man. And it goes for a great cause, Teen Cancer America. That was started by Pete Townsend and Roger Daltry
Yeah,
of
Roger
the
Daltrey.
Who,
Yeah,
and
Pete's been heavily engaged. I mean, those guys are pretty much family or like brothers. You know what I mean?
right, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, what's going on with Westbound, man? You guys
So
just
Westbound's, we're moving ahead. Great guns. I mean, right now we're kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern. Um, our drummer's on the road with Bruce Dickinson,
right,
so that's Dave Marino. We call him Chili.
right,
Um, but we've got a lot of music, written. We've got a lot of music recorded, and we're getting ready to release a new record for 2026.
cool,
So we did a single in 2023. The label we were with, we're still with them, but they thought singles were the way to go, and so that was great. We did that, but now we're going to do a full album.
very cool, man. Looking
Yeah,
forward to it. Because
yeah.
if it's with you playing the bass on there, man, I mean, if it's anything like the Steelcity album, as thunderous as that is, you know, you got Jason Cornwell. I mean, it's got to be thunder in there.
Yeah, and I'm working on another record right now for a major label, but the ink's not dry yet. But the name of that band is called Sunder, and
There you go.
very much it's kind of like a combination of both Westbound and Steel City. So not member wise,
Right,
but sound wise. So you've
right,
got I've always considered like Westbound more of like a Zeppelin kind of grassroots kind of bluesy band, and then Steel City was kind of like a more of like a fine tuned machine. So
right,
it's in the middle there. You know what I mean?
right. So, what else you got going on, man? Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, I mean this. I will say like so. I joined a tribute band last year. So,
Oh no.
yeah, with Matt Starr and Andrew Freeman, which
Uh,
kind of exploded hugely, and we all spent so much time on the songs, and then unfortunately it kind of disbanded. Um, you know, we just were all too busy. So I had spent numerous hours just doing this. So that's when I put together the
right,
Death tribute that I have right now, which is called High and Dry. So we've been touring furiously with that, and that includes Scott LaFlamme on on guitar, Barry Collins on the other guitar, and Sal Cifilippo on vocals, and Tim Betts on drums. And
right,
Tim, and actually, I met him initially because he did Bonzo Bash, and Randy Rhoads Remembered that that Chaz was a part of.
right.
And I wasn't in the show, but Scott was actually a guitar player too. But I went to both of those, and that's how I kind of met Tim. And so we had been meaning to do stuff together for years and years and years. We always talked about it, but it just never came to fruition. Now this finally kind of fell into place. So
Right.
we started this last December, and now probably about 25 shows later, we're heavily booked, and it's kind of weird the whole way that market works right now. So I mean, I've had labels approach me, and they want us to do original music in the Def Leppard vein now, and I'm like, okay, we can do that because it's kind of all encompassing, and
Right.
people come out to those shows a lot. Like, I mean, we're selling out theaters and 500 seat clubs, you know, and not trying as hard. I feel like it's cheating, but I'm glad that I'm kind of waving that waving that rock and roll kind of flag to
Right.
get people to come out and enjoy it. And you're seeing a lot of a lot of younger people, as well as people our age and older.
Right. Well, it is almost tribute band season. You know,
Yeah, yeah, seriously. You
it
can't.
seems like after summer, all the original bands, they go to do albums and stuff for the next following
Yeah,
year, and then all of a sudden, all the tribute bands come out.
yeah, it's ironic. It's funny you said it because when so I initially ran into the singer for High and Dry, Sal, last summer at the Def Leppard concert. So not this past summer, the summer before, because I was a special guest of them because the Steel City album was coming out in Frontiers and they're on the same label, so I got to meet them and stuff.
Right.
And Sal and I reconnected at that show, and that's kind of how this whole thing kind of came together. So
Very cool.
it's funny how life works. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, I know there's quite a few great tribute bands out there that are on tour. I know
Yeah.
quite a few of them, you know. And I mean, you guys put together a great show. You know, if people are still looking for that vibe, you know, to grab a hold of that vibe, because I mean, all our heroes are retiring, man. They're retiring or they're passing away. And it's just, you know, we knew it was coming at one point, but you got to keep the music alive somehow.
Yeah, you know, I remember like Eddie Trunk talking about it about 10 years ago. He's like, all these guys are getting older. They're going to be retiring soon or, you know,
Right.
you know, or dropping off, you know, and it's so true. Um, you know, Bill DiPaolo, who works as our, you know, manager.
Right.
So he just did Out of the Blue, which is, you know, a cruise, a rock cruise that has like a lot of artists from the 60s and 70s and maybe the early 80s.
Right.
And he said, yeah, I mean, he said it was a fantastic show, but he definitely saw that people had aged quite a bit, you know, even though they performed outstandingly. He was like, he was surprised. And that just the whole genre in a whole is kind of, you know, maturing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, the one that I think shocked us all was Ozzy passing away.
Yeah, you know? I know what I totally didn't expect that. You know, I was
nobody did.
since I can remember, and I got to meet him, you know, on the Blizzard of Oz tour,
right?
And I'll never forget it because I saw him twice on that tour, and he was like, actually did an in store where I was growing up, and he was just like hilarious. And
right.
I meet Randy Rhoads, and then through jazz, I got to meet Randy Rhoads' family. You know, it's just been such a full circle, just part of my life. And when he passed away, I was just like, I didn't know what to say. I went to my life. I was like, I honestly, I never felt this way. You know, I mean, I remember when Elvis passed away. I was I kind of felt the same way, but it wasn't like my genre of music really. It was something I liked, but it was more along the lines of my parents' genre. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's what a lot of people are saying. I mean, our generation, Ozzy was our Elvis. You know?
Exactly.
You know?
And he was everywhere. You know?
Right. And now he's passed the torch on to Youngblood. What do you think about Youngblood?
Oh, I think he's awesome. I think he's, you know, seeing him perform on the VMAs, which I hadn't watched in years.
Right.
And that really was a really good show, really good, reinvigorated it. And then seeing Joe Perry and Steven Tyler on stage with him.
Oh, yeah. And then now they're releasing that EP, 5-song EP coming out.
Yeah, that's great. And then Chaz messaged me from the Hollywood Bowl the other night. He was at it was the Who, Joe Perry, and, you know, Steven Tyler came out and did 2 songs.
Right.
He said that was amazing.
I'll bet. And the thing is, you know, a lot of people talk about Youngblood, but you know what? Ozzy saw something in him.
Oh, yeah.
That none of us saw. And that's why I think it's, you know, the passing of the torch. Because I sat and watched that last Black Sabbath on, you know, streaming. And that kid came out, he rocked that stage, and he ruled that crowd like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I think
I was thinking the same thing.
I think a lot of the rock bands have lost that a little bit, but here comes this guy, and that version of Changes will go down in history.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, having somebody, you know, holding that torch again is what this industry needs.
Right.
And, you know, when, you know, my son who's 24 years old, he's always asking me about, like, how was it back growing up in the late 70s and the 80s and stuff like that. And it's so different than it is today.
Right.
You know, it was all about going to concerts. It was all about buying the most, you know, recent record and listening to the whole thing, not just listening to one song like I talked about earlier.
Right.
You know, it was a whole thing. I remember, for weeks. So I grew up in Albany area, so we go to the Glens Falls Civic Center, and for weeks before that, we would plan. I remember Aerosmith was coming,
Right.
and we would just plan for that show, and what songs are they next, and just listen to their records, contently until they came, and it was just, and it wasn't like it was. A lot of it was super underground too. It wasn't like Aerosmith had Dream On and stuff like that, but it wasn't like they were on the regular radio stations. You could hear
Right.
them on, but it wasn't regular rotation. You know what I mean?
Right. But I think Youngblood is well on his way.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
So
I don't know much history. I definitely got to look him up. Is he from England originally?
what's that?
Is he from England? I'm not even sure where he's from.
He's originally from the UK.
Okay, gotcha. Because my first glimpse of him was obviously at the Ozzy final concert there.
Right.
And his lots of footage of him backstage with Ozzy and Sharon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ozzy saw something in him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ozzy was always, he would, I mean, they brought Metallica on the road with them. You know what I
Right.
mean, before that they were playing clubs. You know, Motley Crue. I mean, that was their first tour.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, when you think about it, the list goes on and on and on. How many people he helped?
And like a lot of the music, that we grew up on, you grew up on, was all based off Sabbath. I mean, everybody wanted to be like Sabbath, and everybody wanted to be like Ozzy. And I mean, they were the godfathers of heavy metal. I don't care what anybody says.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
Right.
And I was blessed in 2007, to open for Heaven and Hell, which was the Ryan James Dio
Right.
version,
Right.
and that was amazing because they were such, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler,
Right.
Ronnie, they were such gentlemen.
Oh
And then,
yeah.
and then full circle, speaking of cancer foundations and stuff like that, then we've, Westbound's worked with the Ronnie James Dio Foundation, the Shout Out for Cancer.
Yeah.
We're involved in the Bowl for Ronnie every year,
Right.
in Bank. So, you know, I definitely agree with you. Like the Godfathers of Rock, and they represented that so well.
Right.
Responsibly. Anytime I've ever seen Geezer Butler, when I met Ronnie, when I talked to Tony, they're so friendly and good people, just real
Oh
positive.
yeah. That's the thing. I mean, some of these bands, you got to take care of the people who took care of you. You know what I mean? You go out, do the meet and greet, whatever. Meet with the fans, and I think that's what makes Youngblood so unique, is because he gets out there and he gets in with the fans. It's crazy.
He's. I think it just seems to me. I haven't heard this comment yet, but he's definitely. I mean, as much as being a great vocalist, I think he's such a a fan of the music that he's just so happy to be a part of things.
Right, exactly.
Great, and that's I think that's what Ozzy had, until the very end. Obviously, he was a big fan. I remember one time I met Sammy Hagar just randomly down in Georgia, and we started talking about stuff. And he said he had met Ozzy, and he said he was amazed how much Ozzy knew about Sammy's music from even before Van Halen
Right.
and before he was on his own in Montrose. It's like the guy was such an intellectual and so caring. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and I mean, Ozzy was probably sitting back in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? Going, okay, this guy's good. This guy's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
yeah. So true. So true.
So,
yeah.
The Majesty of... What's that?
I said I could talk about this forever, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
All right. The Majesty of Rock Spinal Tap tribute album. Now, is this only out on vinyl, or is this going to be for like download also, or?
I believe it's going to be, in all media formats. I'll check on that. I'll give you an update on it.
Okay, great.
But last night it's going to be, vinyl, CD, and download.
Right.
And there was some talk about at one point cassettes, because all of a sudden cassettes are coming back, which is funny.
Yeah, it's funny because I have a cassette here from Electric Temple.
Oh yeah, those guys are great. Yeah, they're fantastic.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you can see this,
Yep.
but they sent me this. It's a cassette with a USB in it.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people do it for, nostalgia purposes.
Yeah.
I mean, my old truck still has a cassette player in it, so I don't have a problem.
I mean, the convenience factor alone, I mean, it was,
yeah.
you have to worry about it skipping. You can play it in the car, CDs. Always struggled with that. I've got a 63 Buick and I still have an AM radio in it. So I wish I could get on that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So the Majesty of Rock, Spinal Tap tribute album for Teen Cancer America. Awesome stuff, man. I can't wait to hear it. And
thank you.
I'll have to check into, getting it on the air here. And
absolutely. Well, Doc, thank you so much for having me on here.
Hey.
I know I hit you up last minute, and I so appreciate everything that you do. Like I'll say one more thing here too. I've got a gig coming up in Utica, New York, and I told them, big shout out to those guys, that I was going to actually be doing your radio show, and they're huge fans. So.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yeah. But I'll send you all.
Who was that again?
So this is a new venue that's opening. I feel really kind of foolish because I haven't. I can't remember what the name is. I've been dealing with people over there. But I'll send you the information on it.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. It's a brand new venue. It hasn't opened yet, but we're going to be doing one of the first inaugural shows there, and they kind of talked about multiple different names.
Right. Cool. All right, Jason. Hey, man, thanks for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, Doc. Thank you again.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah, I'll talk to you very soon, I hope.
All right.